Hi guys, Jag here, and this is my sketchbook slash visual journal tour. If you've been following any of my pages for a while or have been following my work for a while, you may have seen some of these pieces already. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you have. And if you haven't yet, check me out at Jaguared Art at Instagram or Jaguared Art on Facebook. And if you want to see more content from me, please hit the subscribe button. I hope to film more content and eventually just keep adding to this thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go over a few of the drawings, not really all of them, but let's just go ahead and get through the flip through, shall we? So this book was given to me by a friend. It's very small. It's not very big at all. It's not really like a fancy moleskin or anything like that, but it did the trick and it holds these drawings very well. I did kind of damage the cover. That's why it's got this bend in it, but it gives it character, I feel. I'm gonna slap this down. So here we go. So I started this book a couple of years ago with the intent to finish and maybe submit it to like a sketchbook thing for the library, but I decided just to really just hold on to it as kind of my own little visual journal. So a lot of these pieces were visions or experimentation or dreams or things that I experienced through things like deprivation tank things or ceremonies and stuff like that. So, or just even in conversation with people, I always seem to get inspired when people bring up topics that are very interesting and very, how do you say that? They're interesting and unique voices. I have a few of my prints in here. These are just kind of like a nice little reminder. I have them folded all funky. Some of my older pieces, and of course a piece to signify when I started to change into the new style of work that I do, or the style that I am pretty recognizable for, I guess. The purple and the gold aspects that I do now, and yeah. Some of these pieces have stories to them, like this one. And this one, I was at an event and my table set out, and I was drawing. I mean, there was a lag in time. Some events are like that, where there's a lag. This one's a fairly small event. There was a lot of people there, but I mean, relatively, it was pretty small, very close-knit group of people, very, very low-key. And those are the times where you have really great conversations with some of the people that are there. And for this one, I got to illustrate with people I've never met before. I talked to a couple of people that were there, and eventually a circle formed, and we were all illustrating together and drawing together and creating art together. So it was a beautiful experience, and I know some of them still to this day. All really great people. And so the first drawing there and this one were from that same night. You can tell by the color palette. This one was sorry for my huff. This one was from a vision that I had. I was walking on this lighted path and I was trying to get to the store. I saw the store at the end, and the only way to go was to the store. There was no way behind. There was only to the store. And I kept walking and walking and walking to the store, and it was like these walls were pushing it further and further and further away from me. But I just it was just calling me like just a beacon, like a lighthouse, and I was just attracted to this light. So I kept walking and walking and walking, and right before I came out of this, I got close enough to where I felt the warmth and I felt the light and I felt just like contentment, and that really just, it's really something that I wanted to make sure that I preserved as far as the visuals go. And so eventually I will turn this into a full painting, because it doesn't really represent everything that I saw, everything that I experienced, because there's just so much, and in these types of experiences, there's just so much information processing at one time. And so some of the things stand out and some of the things just fade away to be reminded of later, on a later date. So this one was just a simple pencil sketch, and there's not much to this one, but I know that there needs to be more to it. Now this page is two-parter, so I never finished this piece, but this was when I was really experimenting more with the lines on the faces, developing the faces more realistically, understanding my tools, all help to really create this development. And I love the expression on her face. And this one is about just shedding those layers, really shedding the skin, that ego self, I feel, is very much that physical self, because we're always trying to make sure we look good, make sure our hair's done, make sure this and that, but it's really just shedding past that and realizing that as long as you're grounded inside, you'll be okay outside as well. And there's beauty in that, there's light in that, and there's transcendence in that. And this is really just transcending the self, and just self-actualizing. And it's also rebirth, because the times where you do, I don't know why I keep doing this, sorry. But the times that you do reach that rebirth and that pinnacle of just shedding that layer and shedding the baggage, it changes you, and you do evolve to the next part of yourself, your journey, because all of our journeys are individualized. Even though there's a lot of similarities within our journeys, there's things that are just going to be different and that we'll never experience, or just jumbles and pieces of other people's lives just kind of are jumbled into our life. And all of that feeds into how we grow and how we accelerate and how we expand to the next evolution of our consciousness, evolution of ourselves, and the depth in which we really connect with who we are. This one, owls are wise. Not just wise, there's just something I don't know, kind of eerie yet intelligent, and almost like deity-like, there's something about them that has intrigued people from cultures all over the world, from Native American cultures in North America to indigenous cultures in South America, in Africa, and then in cultures like in India with the Hindu religion, and just all over, even Ireland. The owl is there and is significant in all those cultures, just like the mushroom is significant in a lot of cultures, so is the owl. These were just kind of fun drawings, little sketches, some incomplete, and which is I think this is the most complete I've ever had a sketchbook. Most of my sketchbooks were like this, where it'd have a little face. I was playing around with these nose shapes. Anytime I'm doing ink drawings, I want to create this shaped face. It's just, especially if I'm freehanding, it's just an automatic response to create these faces. Sacred symbols. This one is the thought process of life and creation of the egg spinning and putting out energy and bringing energy in, all of that spiraling and coalescing together. It's kind of a funny word, right? Coalescing, coalesce. Um, this one, yeah. Not all pieces are beautiful pieces. Well, to me, this one, I I had one vision and it went the other way, and it happens at times, and those are okay too. Um, every aspect of how we create and evolve from there into the other aspects of our lives are always going to be something that's going to be challenging, and having reminders of those challenges, the ones that you've conquered or gone past or learned from, is not a bad thing. It keeps you on that road. Um, you want to be on that road, right? You want to be able to stay there. So some of these I was messing with color palettes, just because I'm self-taught when it comes to color understanding or color theory. I had to really experiment and figure out what worked for me, and this was like kind of in the bridge between um, the different aspects of the myself, and then creating these cowls. I see these cowls, these headpieces all the time on these figures that I see all the time, and it's like I want to represent it, but it's like so difficult to. It's hard to, but the figures that I see are very feminine. I love whimsical pieces, and whimsy is what keeps us lighthearted and keeps us grounded. And this one is also what has brought me light and energy and flow and the cosmos, what has brought that to me. Some illustration challenges, creating form and shape, and I wanted to be able to learn how to create figures. Figures are really challenging, as you can tell from this one. It's really bad. This one is not as bad. I mean, I love the color, and that's something I was experimenting with on this. I guess I was more focused on color than the actual composition, so that's probably why I'm not as big a fan of this one. More more translations in ink, visions I've had before, the trees, and this space, this movement, almost like fish, but they weren't fish. And then this is kind of an homage to my older drawing space. I used to draw these like layered pieces like this, and it's been a long time. So this one was really fun to just let go and to release and to let the imagination just take hold. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we just need our mind to just let go, and these become meditative pieces because of that. Another practice in form and shape and letting go and letting the piece control itself. And I think I was in a certain mood at the time. It was just like I felt empowered. I felt empowered and strong at that time, so I wanted to reflect that in a sketch as well. This is my favorite piece in the entire sketchbook, and it's the last one in the sketchbook. It is me self-actualizing, realizing myself through the jaguar, and connecting with it fully and deeply, and being grateful um, for what it has given me, and that connection that I feel so deeply to it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you can follow along more on my journey. And I hope that you all are well and have been taking care of yourself. I know it's been a strange time for a lot of us, some facing more hardship than others. But hold on tight. You're some things that are hard are sometimes just lessons, and some things that are easy may lead up to a hard lesson. I guess it's kind of a bad note to end it on. It seems a little depressing. um, but no, I think that you're going to be okay. I know it doesn't seem like it is right now, but from my own experience in dealing with hardships and dealing with depression and dealing with grief and dealing with loss and dealing with pain, during the times I'm feeling them, I can't shake them. But now, where I am now, looking back, I'm happy that I held on. I'm happy that I found something that makes me happy, that brings me joy, and I'm surrounded by people who do care. Um, Even those who don't fully understand me, but they still love me. that's that's the goal, right? And sometimes you don't go looking for them; they just find you. So much happiness, many blessings, whatever it is that helps you find peace. I hope you find that, and whatever brings you joy, I hope it brings you an abundance of it. And if you're interested in seeing these pieces and stills, let me know, and I can throw up a thread on my Facebook where I show all the sketches. If you're following me on Instagram, I do have them already available to some of them actually no, all of them should be available to look at on Instagram. Just kind of scroll through, um, or give me a follow, and there'll be an update with some of them maybe. All right. Much love, guys. Please take care of yourselves, and peace.